So the question is, if aliens did exist, whether they were somewhere out in the universe, our solar system, or somewhere on Earth, would you want to know? Or would you want that secret to remain behind closed doors? My name is Brandon Keith Avery, and this is just my opinion. And now, guys, we have Disclosure Day, which is coming out this Friday, June the 12th. It is rated PG-13 and coming in at 2 hours and 25 minutes. It is being described as alien invasion, conspiracy thriller, epic, science fiction epic, suspense mystery, action, drama, mystery, science fiction, and thriller. Now, this is also being directed by Mr. Steven Spielberg. This is what the gentleman looks like right here. If you don't know this man, you are obviously living under a rock, and that's okay. It may be comfortable under there. Of course, we have Schindler's List, Saving Ryan's Privates, E.T., Raiders of the Lost Ark, and I mean, come on, it's Steven Spielberg. He is one of the most known, popular, greatest filmmakers of all time. He doesn't always hit home runs, but he has hit a number under his belt. This is also being written by Mr. David Cope, but he was responsible for writing Jurassic Park, Black Bag, Mission Impossible, Stir of Echoes. If you are a fan of David Cope or Steven Spielberg, please let me know down in the comments section below. Now, when it comes to this film, it was in my top 10 most anticipated films of 2026. Why? Because I love Steven Spielberg. I love suspense. I love mystery. I love conspiracy theories and anything that has to deal with aliens for the most part from a realistic sense. I mean, I like Star Wars and Star Trek is cool and any other IP that has to deal with aliens, but this is more grounded in reality. And again, guys, excuse me, I'm a bit under the weather right now, so if my voice is kind of janky, that is why. Thank you for your patience. But I really was excited for this film. Other reasons is I do like the cast as well. We have Emily Blunt and also Colin Firth and Coleman Domingo. I'm a fan of all of those actresses, and so when I saw that they was attached to this, I was like, oh, with Steven Spielberg, and we have this story too. Yeah, sign me up. I want to see this movie. So before I get into all the nitty gritty, before I talk about all my likes and dislikes, let me tell you exactly what this film Disclosure Day is all about. If you found out we weren't alone, if someone showed you, proved it to you, would that frighten you? So the first thing that I love about this film is it addresses one question that every human being in all of existence has asked themselves at least once, or I'm guessing, and that is, are we alone in the universe? At one point in time, we thought that we were at the center of the universe, and we found out many years later that that's not the truth. But you have many people on Earth that do believe in God, and many people that don't, more do. And a lot of people center their identity around us being built, being constructed, being born, being created in God's image. Now, this is not a faith-based film by a long shot. Even if it was, that wouldn't be a problem for me because I am a Christian. But I'm just saying that because everybody is not religious, everybody is not spiritual. And if so, that can possibly turn some people off. Didn't turn me off. I'm just trying to help you tailor your own expectations and let you know what you're getting into. So many people throughout the world with their various belief systems feel that we are God's creation. And if there are any other creations out there, any other life forms, they may contradict what they base their life on, you know, what makes them who they are and who we serve. Where do we go, if anywhere, once we pass away? Is there an afterlife, or are we just forever unconscious? Kind of like we wasn't conscious before we was born. You know, no one really asked, like, what was life before you was born? What is life like after we die? Nobody knows that. So early on in the film, this story grabs you, it clenches onto your chest and doesn't let go. And you're sitting there asking yourself, man, do aliens really exist? I don't know. I want to find out, but I'm scared. Like, how long have they been here? It's just a multitude of questions that are running through your brain within like the first 5 minutes of this film. And also the suspense factor. I don't want to necessarily say that you're at the edge of your seat, but at least you are mentally, and that will always keep my attention. So from the start, I'm kind of rocking back and forth like this, like, oh my gosh, what's going on? What is about to happen? What are they trying to hide? Now, again, this film wouldn't work if you don't like the characters that are leading the film. Like I said, you do have Coleman Domingo by the name of Hugo. He was pretty cool. I did like him. As soon as he starts talking, you automatically trust him. You know that he's a good guy. You know that you should be rooting for him. And he does have a lot of cards up his sleeve to play at that right time, that Uno reverse or Uno draw for, like, I got you. You know that this man has a plan and that he has been working on whatever he is working on for years, if not decades, and you can't wait until it's all laid out at the end of the film. Whether it pays off or not is a different question, and we will address that. We also have Emily Blunt. Huge fan of hers. The acting from her was phenomenal. She was speaking Korean. She was speaking Russian. Of course, she was speaking English. And it is as if she was trilingual or bilingual since birth. And that's very admirable. Now, I know that's not the case, and she just did a good job of studying her lines and the dialogue for this film, but it was very, very convincing, and I'm glad that she was at the lead. Also, she's easy on the eyes as well and just fulfill the role the best that she possibly could, or anyone could. Now, we also have Colin Firth, who I am a fan of as well. He was decent. Well, no, the acting was fine. His character was decent, but we'll talk about him a little bit later in the second half of this review. Now, every time Steven Spielberg does have a film, there's always a nice score to compliment it, and that's the case here with composer John Williams. He has been working with Steven Spielberg since the very beginning: Jurassic Park, Star Wars, E.T., War of the Worlds. The man retired. He is one, if not the greatest music composer of all time. The only person right now that is still making films that can hold a candle to John Williams is Hans Zimmer. Some people may say Ludwig Göransson. Some people may say Steve Jablonsky. Steve Jablonsky was working with Michael Bay on a lot of the Transformers films, and Hans Zimmer recently is doing scores for Christopher Nolan and also Dune and that franchise with Warner Brothers. But if John Williams, if he's not the best composer of all time for films, he is definitely in the top 2 or the top 3. You guys let me know your opinion of that in the comment section. Now, this wasn't his greatest score, but it was still good. I noticed it when it was playing. And I just had to say, sometimes music, soundtracks, and or scores in films is kind of bland. I mean, you hear the music, but it doesn't move you at all. It's not memorable or anything. And it can feel like it's falling on deaf ears or something, but that's not the case here. It wasn't his greatest, but it was still great. Another thing I love about Steven Spielberg's films is he knows how to film an action scene. There's always long, wide takes. Remember Jurassic Park? And he knows how to film a car chase as well and really put you into the action. Whether that's a drone or he has a camera on a car, on a crane, zooming in and out or around a car, he really does put you into the action. I mean, when you have that good sound, because I did see this in Dolby at an AMC theater, you know, it's really impactful. You are there along for the ride, and it's just an adrenaline rush on top of this great story. And as I started, the runtime for this film is coming in at 2 hours and 25 minutes. It did not feel long as well. I know you have your people that like your 90-minute or hour and 45-minute movies. I felt the pacing in this film was fluid. It did not drag. It wasn't lagging in any sense. And this film is very relatable because, like I said in the very beginning, everyone has asked this question before in their life about either aliens, conspiracies, and or both. And as far as the characters are concerned, you have your good ones and you have your bad ones. Colin Firth is the antagonist of this film, trying to keep the secret covered up. But at the same time, nobody likes a bully. No one likes somebody that takes advantage of their authority and abuses people and takes advantage of people. And that's what Colin Firth's character is doing, which makes him detestable. And, you know, you want him to lose. There's also some interesting tidbits as far as technology is concerned. If aliens really did exist and they did visit Earth, their technology is going to be more advanced than ours. So reverse engineering that and seeing what we can create is always exciting. It always gets the brain flowing and foaming at the roots. What can be established? What can we learn? What new developments are on the horizon? That's always exciting, no matter what type of film or television show that you're into, and it's all in this film. But the movie is fun. I love the relationships as well. So we have Emily Blunt and Wyatt Russell. Their characters in this film are a couple, and I like the dynamic in their relationship as well. They're not in a perfect relationship. You know, no relationship is perfect, but the dilemma that they're going through is realistic to me. Sometimes when two people are compatible, things just don't work out for unfortunate reasons. And that's not the main reason that you're going to the theater to see this film. But at the same time, it is something that I do appreciate and I can relate to as well, because again, I said that, you know, you can relate to a lot in this movie. But it is a fun film. I did enjoy the ride. I couldn't wait till we got to the end to where everything was revealed, because that's what I signed up for. When I first saw the trailer, I was like, man, it's gonna come all the way down to the ending of this film. It's more of a journey. It's gonna come all the way to the end of the film, just with me and what I want with my content. But when it comes to me, sometimes I care about the journey and not really the end. But sometimes I don't care about the journey at all, and I just want it to all pay off towards the end of the film. And with this one in particular, I wanted both. But now, guys, let me just talk about some of the things that did not work for me in this film. And that was the ending. Overall, while I did enjoy this movie, I am slightly disappointed. I did want more from Steven Spielberg, who is considered one of the greatest filmmakers of all time. I was not really a fan of the ending. I thought it was too abrupt. And once everything was popping out at the seams, the film just ends. And I wanted more. I wanted more of a reaction of this so-called truth that may be revealed to the public, or at least the execution. There were too many questions in this film that were left unanswered. They were answering these questions throughout, but towards the end, I was just saying to myself, okay, what was the point of this? What was the point of that? This subplot did not make any sense. And also, Steven in this film, he wasted a bunch of screen time for no reason. This is a slight spoiler, but it's not going to ruin the film, I promise you. At one point in the middle of the movie, one character told another character to break their phone. Okay, break your phone and get rid of it. But the character threw their phone out the window while it was raining and then told the driver to back over the phone. The driver tried to back over the phone and missed it. They tried to drive over the phone and missed it again, and then tried to drive back over it, and they finally broke the phone. But then the other actress got out the car and stomped on the phone and, you know, threw it on the ground, broke it more, and then threw it out the window. That was just like a waste of time. Like, that didn't serve the story, the plot, overall arc for anything at all. It was just kind of pointless. I was like, what was the point of that? Like, I would see if there was a reason, if there were repercussions of this, because they didn't destroy the phone fast enough. But that was just pointless. I mean, you could have just broken the phone and threw it and then continued on with the plot. Another thing about this film is I did enjoy the story overall because of the mystery, because of the conspiracies, because of the potential aliens and the truth being revealed to the world. I just don't like the plot and how we got there, because I think it was completely unnecessary. At the very beginning of the film, it is revealed what the overall goal of the characters are, what they're trying to accomplish. And they get very, very close to that towards the very end. But when we got there towards the end, I was like, wait a minute. You revealed this at the very beginning of the film. We ended up here to a degree, but everything in the middle was completely unnecessary. You didn't have to do that. And like, that makes the writing bad. You have to give the audience member a reason why you're jumping through all of these hoops and going over all of these hurdles. And again, it was just unnecessary. You could have just walked around the hoops. You could have just walked through the hurdles. It was just an unnecessary distraction, an unnecessary detour. It's kind of like you're trying to go through a door and you don't have a key. So you get all these weapons and devices to try to break the door down. You get screwdrivers, you get drills, you get crowbars, you get a battering ram. In some cases, some people may go overboard and drive a car through the door and knock the whole wall out. But all you had to do was walk up and turn the doorknob and the door was unlocked. And you could have just walked right through. Yes, the movie would have lasted only 20 minutes, but that is where the good writing comes from. And that was not the case here. Yes, there were some cool concepts with the aliens and the reverse engineering and their technology, but it was all for nothing. I just don't understand what the point was. Also in the trailer, you see animals popping up here and there, a cardinal, a moose, a fox. Unless I'm just dumb and stupid and don't know what I'm talking about, at the end of the day, I don't understand what the point of the animals were as well and their inclusion in the film. They were used as a communication device, but for what? For what? I don't understand why. I mean, it was cool. And also, Emily Blunt, she has this type of ability to where she can do certain things to where when she comes across certain people, and I don't want to spoil anything, but it was pointless. It was pointless. It was pointless. And I don't get it. And that's just very disturbing. Even if all that was the case and we got to the end, I could have forgiven all that, but the film should have been 10 to 15 minutes longer, not an abrupt ending. I wanted to see what the reaction was of the people in the film across the world, and we were cut short. We were cut short. This film asked the question, if you found out we weren't alone, if someone showed you or proved it to you, would that frighten you? That question is not necessarily answered in this movie. They was about to answer it, but the film ended. And so that just kind of sucks. And again, going to where they had the technology and the reverse engineering, they did some cool things with it, but it was just pointless. There's some technological device that can do all these crazy things, and I don't. It was cool, it was nice, it was neat, but it just served no purpose to me in the grand scheme of things. And so, is this a horrible movie? Not at all. Should you go see it in theaters? Yes, you should. Still a good to great movie, but I just wanted so much more. I'm disappointed. Overall, the story was there, but the plot, again, was a bit muddy and unnecessary to get us to the ending journey. I will go ahead and give my rating for this at the very end, but for now, guys, that is just my opinion, and I want to thank you so much for tuning in. If you did enjoy this review, please let me know in the comments section and hit that subscribe button. Help me reach 60,000 subscribers. Leave a comment, share the video, all that good stuff. But guys, if I had to rate Disclosure Day out of a 1 out of 10, I would give it a 6.5 out of 10. Yes, a 6.5 out of 10. But thank you so much for tuning in. I'm B. Avery. That's just my opinion. Peace. And I'll see you next time.